Welcome back to the show. Oh my goodness, have we got one for you today. USD Tether making a pivot and a wave of XRP ETFs approvals incoming. Ripple's got a new website and new direction. You're going to want to know about it. And how about XRP up 15.6 on the 7-day and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.37 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off 1.4%. Don't tell me it's happening again today. I think it was Thursday or Friday. I couldn't talk worth a damn. I was stuttering all over everything. Meanwhile, Bitcoin 97,600 plus, Ethereum 2,600 plus, XRP's $2.79. We're up 3.5 on the 24, but take a listen to this. We're up 15.6 on the 7-day. Come on in. And we're back at the number 3 spot this morning, ranging between 269 and 283. Let me tell you, if you haven't got your tickets for XRP Las Vegas, I want you to get them because I want to meet you and so many others want to meet you. I'm encouraging every influencer in this space to come to this conference if you haven't. And don't come because I'm asking you to. You should come because your audience wants to meet you in person. You should come because they want to meet you in person. You won't believe the connections that are made. And I'll tell you something else. There's a lot of fun at this conference, but you will learn so much information over the course of this 2 days that you could not get anywhere else. I didn't believe it until I started going to conferences. Then I realized what the real value is there. It's not an expenditure. It's an investment in yourself. That's what this is. Get your tickets before they're gone or before the price goes up. And listen, so many new announcements here. Take a look at this. You guys know Cody Carbone from the Digital Chamber, Chris Giancarlo from the Digital Project, former CFTC chairman, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, on stage, as well as Simon McLaughlin from Uphold, Chris Brummer, Dr. Brummer, Georgetown law professor, also has created Blueprint. Wait till you find out what's going on there. Kevin Maloney, CEO of iTrust. Stephen McClurg from Canary Capital, you know, XRP ETFs. Austin King from Omni. Mark Otto from Monerex. Nancy Beaton from Uphold. Keith Grossman, the president of MoonPay. Gregos Vlachos from Axelar, they're killing it. Dom Kwok and Phil Kwok from EZA, representing over 1 million developers, ladies and gentlemen, that they have on their app. What these two gentlemen are doing is absolutely mission critical to mass adoption. I can tell you that. You're going to learn so much about them. Bitwise's Matt Hogan and Web3 industry Boone Bergman. Let me tell you, and there's more to come. How about this guy? Paul Barron is going to be there, ladies and gentlemen. We love Paul Barron. Are you kidding me right now? And all of the sponsors that are still coming on board. And I tell you, I hate to say it, we may be running out of room here. We're really starting to get full. Look at all of these incredible sponsors. And let me tell you, wait till you hear what's going on with XRP Cafe and First Ledger and what these guys have done. It is remarkable. Get your tickets. Don't mess around. I want to meet you. I want you to get all this incredible information, make these connections. It is one of the most important conferences you will ever go to. I make sure of that for you. There's no question about it. Link underneath the video. Come on in. The water's fine. Shout out to Michael Branch. Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund adds just under $500 million of Bitcoin into their sovereign wealth fund. Now, I think Matt Hogan had this right when he grabbed this and saw it, and then he made a comment and said, the dominoes begin to fall. I'm paraphrasing, but he's got it. He knows. It is going to come. If Abu Dhabi's doing it, how long before U.S. sovereign wealth fund's going to have Bitcoin in it? Especially knowing Howard Lutnick holds hundreds of millions of dollars position in Bitcoin. My question is will the sovereign wealth fund in the United States be an apology for why Bitcoin may not end up in the strategic reserve? And I'm not suggesting that I want that to happen. I'm just getting a bit of a spidey sense that tells me to pay attention that could happen. Let's keep going. Meanwhile, the U.S. shifts its focus to stablecoins over a Bitcoin reserve at the moment. And the reason they're doing that is because we've been told that there's so much positive support to get the stablecoin legislation done that will get done first. Lawmakers led by Representative French Hill, Senator Cynthia Lummis introduced new legislation requiring U.S. stablecoin issuers to be fully backed by cash or treasury bills. I don't have a problem with that. And here you see supporters argue this move strengthens the dollar dominance in global finance, especially in countries with weak currencies. Meanwhile, JP Morgan analysts warn that Tether may struggle to meet new compliance rules, potentially forcing Bitcoin sales because they hold so much Bitcoin to back their Tether position. And if they want to be compliant, they may be forced to unload that position. The trick is that we know that stablecoin legislation could be here by April.
It's going to take 90 to 120 days to get some basic laws passed. It looks like stable coins will be the first that they regulate, and then moving from that, they'll do asset classification. But before the end of this year, I do believe very strongly that we will be on much stronger foundations in the United States and thus globally for running a cryptocurrency business.
I tell you, the stablecoin bill is going to be enormous. It's going to open up the highway, the value protocols like the Ledger and others, the multi-chain digital on-chain economy to allow these new vehicles as stablecoins to fly all across the networks. I couldn't be more excited. But the real legislation for me is the asset tokenization and market infrastructure bill, because I liken that to the Telecommunications Acts of 1996 that opened up the birth of the internet. The dot-com era, as it will. Meanwhile, Tether's CEO Paulo Ardoino has confirmed that the company is working with U.S. lawmakers to help shape stablecoin regulations. Oh, wait a second. The same guy that just a handful of weeks ago told the world we don't need the EU or the U.S. economy, and Tether's not really designed to be in that. Really? 180-degree pivot now. New from Eleanor Terrett here. Offshore stablecoin giant Tether is working with U.S. lawmakers to influence how these fiat-backed currencies are regulated in the U.S. The issuer of the world's largest stablecoin has been a controversial figure in the U.S. crypto policy circles due to an alleged lack of transparency. Critics say the company has never received a full audit, instead opting to provide quarterly assessments of its financial books from global accounting firm BDO. Stablecoins are a type of digital asset backed by a hard asset, as we all know, commanding around 60% of the $230 billion stablecoin market. Tether has also become one of the largest holders of U.S. debt in the world, with $114 billion of short-term treasury bills in its reserves. As Congress works to create legislation that will set a regulatory framework for stablecoins, U.S. CEO Tether tells Eleanor Terrett the company is now actively engaging with top lawmakers on how to best shape the law. We're going to work with the regulatory framework, and we're going to try to advise on every single one of these field proposals to make sure that our voice is heard, said Ardoino. Referring to the three stablecoin bills introduced last week in the House and Senate, he also says the company will comply with the law. However, it turns out, well, I'm glad to hear that, because that's an admission in that statement that they currently aren't. We're not going to just throw in the towel and let Tether die just for the sake of not adapting to U.S. legislation, he added. Well, that's kind of what he pointed to a few weeks ago. I like knowing that the pivot's there, but there's still a lot of uncertainty of what's actually going to happen, and we want our voice to be heard in the legislative process. So there you have that. We'll keep you posted on it, but that is a pivot from the CEO of Tether. He now wants to work with the U.S. government instead of thumbing his nose at it. Interesting. And so is this. Ripple got a new look. Yeah, they got a new website and a new look. Now, I don't think this is a copyright issue, but I just want you to see some of the imaging of the site. I'll mute that just in case that music's not, but I believe it is copyright free, but I don't want to take the chance to have to edit, right? But you can see the new look here. One of the highlights about this site, save you some time here from Wrath of Conman, is that CBDC is not found anywhere on the new site. And it is speculated that this could be because that Ripple is trying to align with the current new administration and President Trump on the fact that there will be a ban and effort towards not having a CBDC in the United States. One doesn't really know completely, but the Ripple has a new site. It looks really great. You should go take a look at it again. There it is right there. Modernize your financial institution. You can request demos. It looks super clean. Loving it. You can see all the different companies listed here. It's got a nice fresh look for a new, fresh era, the golden age, right? It's among us. I love it. Couldn't be more excited. All right, so let's get into this. The SEC's Crypto Task Force, this is the SEC's Crypto Task Force, discusses integrating staking into exchange-traded products with multiple firms. This is huge for adoption and liquidity from Sean McBride here, and I absolutely agree with him wholeheartedly. Shout out to you, Sean. You know, this is massive when you could buy a position in an exchange-traded fund or product and then also earn staking on it as well. I think there's going to be a massive call to action to earn on that. I can tell you that is going to be big. And then how about this? We got to step back to Gary Gensler for a minute and just see what kind of bullet we've dodged and what we've been, the fire we've been under from the previous administration and Gary Gensler and Choke Point 2.0. And again, shout out to the Digital Chamber and the work they've done recently to expose yet another layer of Choke Point 2.0 buried down inside of the SEC. But look at this. This here from Digital Asset Investor, Dirty Gary Gensler's full calendar, the one he kept hidden, is out. Well, look who Gary met with before they filed an amicus brief supporting the SEC against Ripple. It was none other than Better Markets. Stephen Hall, legal director, securities specialist, and everybody there, Brady Williams, legal counsel. And these are the jackasses after meeting with him that decided, yeah, we're going to file a amicus brief in support of the SEC. But Gary Gensler hid his calendar, so we couldn't find out at the time that he met with them right before they filed it. Wow. Was the previous SEC chair colluding with Better Markets to help his own case? Gracious sakes alive. Did we dodge a bullet? I don't care how you feel about politics. If you can't see that, you don't see anything. If you can't be happy for nothing else, you should be able to be happy for that. I'll tell you that. Pundit believes the SEC could drop appeal against Ripple for this reason. And let's take a look here very quickly here, because I have no problem. I could point to about 50 reasons they should drop this thing. And the piece of news we just went over is one of them. You know, this is pointing to the ETF approvals, and where Brad Garlinghouse recalled pointing out more than once that it was inevitable that we would see these ETFs make their way to consideration, which currently right now we have a couple under review, right? 21 shares just became under review. And this here from Matthew Liney from yesterday, this here is a filing covering the whole changing over the fund from 21 shares, as you can see here, to XRP ETF, right? And the filing with the SEC in the writing acknowledges that this XRP is a commodity, right? The sponsor believes XRP is a commodity as that term is defined under the Commodities Exchange Act. There's the big rub right there. So this is where the SEC is acknowledging this in the moving this particular 21 shares offering in under review, right? Just like we saw for the previous one that we covered yesterday or the day before. So now we have two that are under review. This is super exciting. Now, what are the odds that we see the approval of an XRP ETF? Well, you take a listen to Cynthia. She says 70%.
You know, I was reading an opinion from an analyst this morning. They said XRP is the least likely ETF to be approved because of prior litigation, although the tides are changing when it comes to the administration in the United States. Which one of the ETFs that I mentioned at the top of this show do you think is the most likely, and which one do you think is the least?
See, on this space, I defer to my colleague, James Safar at Bloomberg, who lives and breathes this space. So I will go by his predictions because he's way better informed than this than I am. And, he's putting a 90%, he moved the market, a 90% chance of approval of the Litecoin ETF as the first one. And then 70% on Doge and XRP. So, I would just quote him on that because he may have skin in the game. I don't have skin in that game. So those numbers look good. I actually think it's both, to me, surprisingly bullish here, 90%. But at the same time, this administration, to your point, has been so crypto friendly that maybe it's not bullish enough. So I think the regulatory change has been so dramatic so quickly. We're still making sense of what that means in terms of these products coming to market.
James.
There you have it right there. Shout out to Brett for that one. Give him a follow. Dom right here highlights this, and this is a biggie. I mean, we're seeing an embrace of digital assets and crypto in every area of this new administration. And here's another example. Trump nominated crypto bull Jonathan Gold to lead the Office of Comptroller of Currency. Yes, the U.S. banking regulator, outspokenly pro-crypto, approved the first crypto bank Anchorage. Chief legal officer of Bitfury, major crypto company, opposed Operation Choke Point 2.0 and invested in leading crypto projects. The bull market hasn't even kicked in to first gear yet. I tell you, Dom's got this right. If you're not following Dom either, I don't know what's going on here. You need to follow this guy too. Both the brothers are amazing. And what they're doing in this space, I tell you, you're going to be blown away by what you hear, what they're doing on stage at XRP Las Vegas. Now take a look at this. Speaking of being blown away, it's Brad Garlinghouse in D.C. and Lauren Believe as well, or Believe, I should say, excuse me. Big day with Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse in town. His trip comes to a pivotal moment for the digital asset industry with pro-crypto Congress and growing bipartisan momentum. There's an unprecedented opportunity to advance meaningful legislation that establishes clear long-term regulatory frameworks for the industry. Many thanks to the members of Congress, administration officials for taking the time to meet with Team Ripple. And here's all the things we've seen that we highlighted yesterday as well. This is exactly what the goal has been. And this is the reason that everyone's been able to make fun of us for so many years. Because the goal of Ripple and the full intended scale use of XRP is designed to work to complement inside of the financial system. And because we have not had regulatory clarity, it has given a lot of tribalists and maximalists in this space the room to run and criticize and critique and make fun and antagonize. But that time is soon coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen, because I believe all of what you're seeing here is going to lead to all of those tribalists and maximalists finding out what we've known for years, that Ripple and the XRP ledger are going to play a massive role in the new digital economy and certainly inside the U.S. financial infrastructure of the new digital on-chain economy. That's my personal opinion, and that's what gives me the confidence to suffer all these downs that we've been dealing with for so many years. Meanwhile, you want to see something going on here? Listen to this as U.S. Senator asked to Jerome Powell. Take a listen.
Shifting gears to a little bit, something that matters to me and entrepreneurs all over the country is why can't I wire somebody money at 6 p.m. Eastern time? Can we get to a 24/7 scenario where wires are cleared every day, all day? I think that would be very, very helpful to businesses all over the country.
So that's coming. It's just coming slowly here. We have that at FedNow. We'll get in touch with you about FedNow. We provide that service between two banks, and others want to provide it too. But yes, we do kind of lag a lot of other countries in that, and it is time for that to happen.
There you have it. It's time for that to happen. FedNow. Yeah, that's right. Ripple. Smack dab in the middle of FedNow. Who else is in there that's going to move money that fast? 24/7, 365. I'm just curious. Meanwhile, David Sachs highlights Eleanor Terrett's tweet here. She highlighted, with crypto policy now a priority in Washington, I've been asking policy folks this week, are there too many cooks in the kitchen? And it goes on with the task force and the CFTC pilot program, the presidential working group, the bicameral, this, that, and the other. He says here, as Eleanor Terrett reports, with interagency working group on digital assets is working well together to implement the president's agenda. Bo Hines is doing a fantastic job as executive director, keeping everyone coordinated. Some important announcements are coming soon. Yes, that's correct. Crypto czar David Sachs says important announcements on digital assets are coming soon. And one of which may be that the Crypto Council may not be a Crypto Council. It may just turn into a summit. And who knows what else will come with it. But I'm excited to find out because it's clear to me this administration is embracing, not rejecting. If this pattern plays out, it could set the stage for an even larger breakout, potentially pushing XRP's price to $12.50 in 2025. What pattern they talking about? The 2017-2018 bull run and the fractal pattern that was created from it. Currently, right now, they are telling us that it is rhyming a lot from 2017 to 2018. So if it continues, hello, $12.50 could be in our future. It's not financial advice from me or anyone else, but let me tell you, I have an announcement. We are going into the Freedom Zone, which you can click the link underneath the video and join the Patreon. But we now have a new Freedom Zone directly on YouTube. Same amount of money, same amount of perks. Excuse me. It's just bringing you an ease of access to join the Freedom Zone without leaving YouTube. Everybody in the Patreon still gets everything in the Patreon. Everybody in the Freedom Zone on YouTube gets exactly what everyone in the Patreon gets. We're just expanding the ability to join directly on YouTube. Don't mess around. We're going into some content today that exposes the corruption behind Bill Hinman to a level that you haven't even considered yet. How about J6? Yeah. And ETHgate. How about so much more? How about the fact that ETHgate and Bill Hinman's doings are starting to reach the political elite now, even the Trump camp? You're going to want to see what we have today. Go to YouTube, click join, and get in that Freedom Zone, or go to Patreon and click the link under the video and join us there, whichever you prefer, and soon we'll have it offered on X too. This is what's coming, and you won't believe it. We're going in right now. Again, not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one. Okay, brace yourself.